The episcopate is the collective body of all the bishops of a church. The term is also used to refer to the status or term in office of an individual bishop. The historical episcopate comprises all the bishops who are in valid apostolic succession. This succession is transmitted from each bishop to the successors by the rite of holy orders. Line of succession. In the Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Eastern Rite Catholic, Oriental Orthodox, Old Catholic, Moravian, and Independent Catholic churches, Anglican Communion and Assyrian Church of the East, it is held that only a person in apostolic succession, a line of succession of bishops dating back to the apostles, can be a bishop, and only such a person can validly ordain priests, deacons and bishops and validly celebrate the sacraments of the Church. The definition of the historic episcopate is to some extent an open question by some. For example, bishops of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America lay claim to the apostolic succession through the laying on of hands by bishops of the Episcopal Church, which is the U.S. province of the Anglican Communion. Some theologians, such as R. J. Cook, have argued that the Methodist Church is also within the historic episcopate, being in direct succession to the apostles through the bishops and patriarchs of the Eastern Church. An Anglican Methodist covenant stated that Anglicans and Methodists are aware of the substantial ecumenical consensus that recognizes that ministry within the historic episcopate should be a feature of united churches. The Roman Catholic Church holds that a bishop's consecration is valid if the sacrament of holy orders is validly administered with the intention of doing what the Church does by ordination and according to a valid sacramental form, and if the consecrating bishop's orders are valid, regardless of whether the rite takes place within or outside the Roman Catholic Church. Thus, Roman Catholics recognize the validity of the episcopacy of Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, Assyrian Church of the East and Old Catholic bishops, but argue the validity regarding Anglican bishops and Independent Catholic bishops. The Eastern Orthodox Church's view has been summarized as follows: while accepting the canonical possibility of recognizing the existence of sacraments performed outside herself, questions the validity and certainly rejects their efficacy, and it sees the canonical recognition of the validity of sacraments performed outside the Orthodox Church to the validity of the sacraments only of those who join the Orthodox Church. Quote, "This applies to the validity and efficacy of the ordination of bishops and the other sacraments, not only of the independent Catholic churches, but also of all other Christian churches, including the Roman Catholic Church, Oriental Orthodoxy, and the Assyrian Church of the East." The Eastern Orthodox position on Anglican orders is controversial, involving disagreements among national churches, theologians, and bishops. Because of changes in the ordinal under King Edward VI, the Roman Catholic Church does not fully recognize all Anglican holy orders as valid, but the latter are recognized by Old Catholics, whose holy orders are considered valid by Rome. Lutheran and other episcopally ordered Protestant successions are not recognized by Roman Catholics. More than 91% of the world's more than 5,000 living Western bishops in the Roman Catholic Church traced their episcopal lineage back to 16th century Bishop Scipione Cardinal Rebeba. In the early 18th century, Pope Benedict XIII, whose orders descended from Rebeba, personally consecrated at least 139 bishops for various important European sees, including those in Germany, France, England and the New World. These bishops in turn largely consecrated new bishops in the respective countries, effectively erasing other episcopal lines. Anglican Views. In the 16th century, a solid body of Anglican opinion emerged which saw the theological importance of the historic episcopate but refused to unchurch those churches which did not retain it. The preface to the ordinal limits itself to stating historical reasons why episcopal orders are to be continued and reverently used in the Church of England. Before 1662 it was assumed that the foreign Reformed churches were genuine ones with an authentic ministry of word and sacrament. The 1662 Act of Uniformity formally excluded from pastoral office in England any who lacked episcopal ordination, but this was a reaction against the abolition of episcopacy in the Commonwealth period, as the divergences between the theory of the godly prince and the practices of monarchs like James II, William III and the early George became more obvious. Pearson and Beveridge saw the apostolical office of the bishop as a guarantee of the Church's identity, and this formed the background to the vital emphasis placed on it by Newman and the other Tractarians, through whom it passed into Anglo-Catholic thought. The modern debate divides three ways: between those who see the historic episcopate to be constitutive of the Church, those who hold it as a question of its well-being, and those who consider that it is necessarily for the Church to be fully itself. The Chicago-Lambeth quadrilateral includes the historic episcopate as essential to the visible unity of the Church, but allows for its being adapted locally in its working to the varying needs of those who God calls into the unity of the Church. However, this has not meant a general commitment to the idea that in its absence there is no Church.